In this video, we are going to be talking about where the high rises are located in Las Vegas. All the time I get people looking in certain price ranges and they don't know if they're really comparing apples to apples because one tower might be over here and one tower might be in downtown. So really, to get an idea of what might be a good fit for you, we're going to do a high level view, take a look at what's around a few of the areas. We're not going to go deep on anything specific just because this video would be so long. In the future, we'll be doing videos on some of the more prominent towers. We're not going to do all of those either because a lot of them honestly just don't have the amount of sales to warrant that. So without further ado, we're going to jump onto the computer and we'll go from there. Okay, so now we are on the computer. I am going to make myself smaller and move up there. Okay, so now we're going to start nice and easy. This is probably how most of you are going to arrive, but this is the airport right here. So from the airport, we're going to use this as a distinction. I'll even make a mark here. Or actually, no, I will not make a mark. We'll get to that later. So aside from that, if you're somebody who would drive in, the 15 here would be, where you would come from Southern California. Over here would be if you were coming from Arizona, Phoenix, that area. Or up here would be maybe if you're coming from Southern Utah. So let's get a little bit closer here. So the airport, once again, this is how you'd be flying in. So we're going to go right from the airport and we're first going to go to City Center. So let's go there first. And I would say it's about 5 minutes, 10 minutes from the strip, or from the airport rather. So City Center, right up here. And we're using this view. I think it's just easier to see the towers themselves. The other Google Maps view, you just really see the streets. So City Center is this area. Oh, let me actually get my marker now. Okay, so this area right here. So Las Vegas Boulevard running north-south. This is the Bellagio Fountains up here. And we are looking at City Center. So let me clear that. Oops. Okay, so in City Center, you have several options. First are the two Veer towers. So two towers next to each other. What's so distinctive about these ones is they are the yellow towers that are tilted. All residential, no hotel, anything like that in there. Right next to them, you have the Crystal Shops right here. Mastro's is in there, great place to eat. The next place we would talk about here is the Waldorf. So if we have Veer Towers right here, we have the Waldorf over here. You might remember this as being the Mandarin Oriental. It was sold in 2018 and renamed and redesigned. So on this one, bottom half is all hotel, and then the top half is condominiums, all privately owned. You do share certain amenities with the guests, such as the pool and the cabana area, but for the most part, you have your own private entrance, you have your own private valet, your private concierge, so you get your own experience there as well. Once again, I mean, the walkability is just off the charts. You're on the boulevard right here. You could walk to so many places. So if we zoom back out just slightly, I circled this over here as well earlier. So this is Vdara. It's a hotel and condo. Only 150 units were ever offered for sale. They're very hard to come by now because this is one of the few towers in Las Vegas you can do short-term rentals at. So if you see one of these pop up, they usually go fairly quickly just because you can cash flow with these and still have the experience of being right off the strip. So just to the west of that, so City Center here, and this is the 15 running north and south, the main freeway. So we have three towers over here. So Panorama 1, Panorama 2. So two towers, Panorama. As you can see, most of them have east-west views, strip views this way, mountain views this way. So this was originally going to be a 4-tower plan. They built the first two, sold the third one, which is the Martin right here, off. And then there was going to be a fourth that never got built. So with these, interesting, they're a little bit off the strip, but they offer a car service that will take you, I believe it's up to 3 miles away. They have fitness centers in each tower. They have theater rooms in each tower, playrooms for table tennis and stuff like that. So that's an interesting option there, a very luxurious option. You have a lot of people who live full-time over here, I would say. And then same with the Martin, it's just a little bit, it's of similar quality, I guess I would say, to Panorama. So while we're still down here, let's quickly touch on MGM Signature. So this is where we started. This is City Center here. Just about a block and a half off the strip. You have MGM Signature, 3 towers that you can also do short-term rentals at. What's interesting about these is the F1 paddock is going to be right here. So the F1 race will actually be coming down Harmon. With that in mind, Tower 1, which is over here, is still the most desirable, but Tower 3 is quickly becoming very desirable just to be over top of that. With these towers, you have a walkway that's air conditioned that gets you from the Signature all the way over to the MGM. So it's a pleasant walk, and that's why Tower 1 gets a little bit better pricing, is because it's a shorter walk, even though it's not by much. So from there, we have another one we want to talk about while we are over here. There's actually 2 that we want to talk about over here. So first, we're going over to the Hughes Business Center. So over here, we have, you can see all the business shops around here, very green compared to most of the area. You can also see the Sphere right there. So over here, you have 2 towers, Park Towers at Hughes Center. So these are very luxurious towers. The one downside of them is they do have a rather large HOA. It's about $3,000, a little bit more than that for just $1 million place over there. They live very much like homes in the sky, so they're not very hotel feeling or anything like that. They live like homes. So very interesting product over there, very luxurious. Definitely something to see if you can afford that. And then one more before we head more north, so let me zoom back out, is over here. So let me see here. So this is where we started, right here. And then we are going over here by the Palms. We have Palms Place. So another place that's eligible for short-term rentals rather. And, the main knock on this would be it's a little bit off of the strip, more than some of these other offerings we're going to look at today. So as we move north, so once again, Bellagio Fountains here, the Sphere is over here. We will be going north, and we are looking for the fashion show, which is right here. And just on the other side of the fashion show, you have Trump International. So you can also own inside of there. You can do short-term rentals in there as well. They have an in-house staff that can handle that for you, whereas some of these others have third parties or in-house. So that is an option over there as well. A little bit more north, let's actually check this one off our list first, if I didn't go past it, is Sky Las Vegas. So that's right here, all residential only, very modern feeling. It's some of the cheaper condos you can get on the strip right now, but they can be rather small. So something to keep in mind there. So now I'll zoom out so we can get our bearings again. So Sphere down here, Bellagio Fountains down there. So we're going north up the strip. You see Sahara. Okay, so here, this is the Las Vegas Country Club. I like to always point this out to people, but, the FBI ran out of fuel one time when they were surveying mob bosses back in the day, and they ran out of fuel. This isn't the exact plane, but they put one in there almost as an ode to it. So from there, Las Vegas Country Club, actually, while we're in there, so I should mention there's Regency Towers in there. These are the original towers of Las Vegas as far as high rises. These were the first ones to do it. Went through some financial turmoil, but they are the original ones, and they are within the country club. So just northwest of there is Turnberry Towers. So this is 2 towers that have shared amenities between them. Pool on each side, fitness center on each side, stuff like that. Tennis courts over here on the west. Very luxurious towers, moderately priced, I would say, but they offer some great views to the south. So just south of, Turnberry Towers there. Turnberry Place, these are even more luxurious. They are larger as well. Turnberry Place and Park Towers, they created the condo boom in Las Vegas. So when these 2 started opening, condo sales went through the roof, and they opened around the same time. These also live like homes in the sky. They're typically very large. One thing to watch out for when you're looking at these is the parking garage for the Fontainebleau over here. If you are not a high enough level, you will be staring at nothing but concrete. So something to keep an eye on, and the Fontainebleau, as of the making of this video, is soon to be open, but we haven't seen that yet. This will eventually be hotel. It is zoned, or it is currently being planned for a sports-themed hotel. But as of the recording of this video, I know they've been going through some issues with getting that going. So just slightly off of where we are, we will see the world famous gift shop, if you want to call it that, off Sahara. And then you have Allure. So a little bit off the beaten path. As you can see, there's not a ton going on around here. But this is another offering up there. It was at one point the tallest tower in Las Vegas. Allure right here. And then right next to it, you have Golden Steer, which is one of the oldest steakhouses in Las Vegas. So from here, we want to go north. So, you know, with Vegas being on the Strip, you kind of get the downtown feel with being on the Strip. So you also, if you didn't want to be on the Strip, though, you do have the option of being downtown. You have the Arts District down there. You have Container Park. You have, you know, festivals that go on down there. Interesting things that go on down there. So I'm going to cheat a little bit on this one because since they're not as easily identifiable from this view, we're going to pull them up and we're going to look at them that way. So the first one we are going to look at is the Ogden. And this one would be the furthest one north. The rest of them you'll see more towards the Arts District in the south, but we will do that first. So Ogden, right here, as I said, towards the north, you know, you got the 515, the 15, this is called the Spaghetti Bowl here, so this is like the main intersect of all the freeways here. So that is your option as far north. So then there will be 3 more south. We'll go through those quickly. We will do Newport Lofts. As I said, further south down here. And then next to that, we will have Jewel. It's fairly close by. And then lastly, we have one last one to speak of up here. And this isn't an all-inclusive list. It's just the ones that I think, you know, there's inventory typically and there's sales actually happening typically, whereas, you know, there are more options, but these are just the most popular, I guess. And then the last one is Soho Lofts. So once again, same area, more or less, right next to Charleston Boulevard, which is one of the main streets here in Las Vegas. So I did miss one that I do recall, a little bit south. So down here, so we'll reset down here. We are looking for Desert Inn. So off of Desert Inn, you have Metropolis. So Desert Inn is another main street. This Metropolis will be right next to the convention center. So down here, oops. So Metropolis right here off of here's the convention center, Desert Inn, very busy street. And from there you have the Wynn Golf Club below, and you do get some opportunity to have some views of the Sphere from here. So that is of interest. One other thing I will mention down here, some of these offerings we mentioned down in, you know, like MGM Signature or in City Center, the proposed site for the Oakland A's as of right now is going to be Tropicana. So if that does happen, oops, I am clicking on everything. So if that does happen, the Tropicana here would be gone, with the Oakland A's arena being there instead. And, you know, the MGM Signature, where you can do short-term rentals, would maybe be cash flowing a little bit better because, you know, you have air conditioned walking to the MGM Grand and then you're across the street. So something to think about. From there, it's really time to go outside of the Strip. So there's a few offerings outside of the Strip to speak of. The main one would be Queensridge. So that would be near Summerlin adjacent, I guess you could put it. Right next to a few casinos. It's much more of a suburban feel over here. So this is my part of town. You have plenty of shopping. You have plenty of grocery stores. As you can see, I think as we were zooming in, I think there was a Whole Foods there. So easy way to spot it on the map is this barren land. So we'll talk about that in a second. So you have the Rampart there, and then you have the Suncoast, which Suncoast actually has some good movie night deals once in a while. So right here is Queensridge Towers. These are like homes in the sky. They have full kitchens. They live very easily. It doesn't even feel like you're living in high rise. It's very high end. But as I was alluding to, the barren land. So this used to be a golf course for Queensridge. It went out of business and went bankrupt, and it was purchased. They want to develop it, and now they are developing it for condos, housing, mixed use. I believe there's even some 55 plus living that's going to be going on in there. So it's a little bit of up in the air of what's going to go on around there, but that's something to be aware of in there. Places are still selling like hotcakes in there, so it's still very desirable. The last one to really mention, and there are a few down here south of the strip, especially down by the South Premium Outlets. But once again, I'm trying to focus on the most popular and the ones I see people reach out to me for most. So the last one would be down here at McDonald Ranch, McDonald Highlands to be more specific. So down here in McDonald Ranch would be the Four Seasons private residence down here. So around you, I mean, you have places like Askaya, McDonald Highlands itself. You have homes that trade well over $10 million around you, and they are now releasing the private residences. So as of the time of this video, they haven't started construction, but places are selling very fast. So if that's of interest to you, something to maybe act sooner than later on, because as we see in Vegas, a lot of times stuff when it sells during development, it ends up being worth a lot more in the end. So that would be the last one that I would really mention as far as the high rises. You also have one that technically, over here in Lake Las Vegas as well. So that would be the main ones I would hit on, and I'm just going to draw one more time. So if you only wanted to come to this part of the video, what we'll talk about is, so from the airport here, we have the Four Seasons residences down here. We have around this area, you had City Center, which was the Waldorf, Veer, Vidara. Right next to that, you had Panorama Towers. You had the Martin. Just to the east of that, you had MGM Signature. You had Park Towers. Just north of that, by the Country Club, you had Turnberry Towers, Turnberry Place. You had Regency. You had Allure. Down here in downtown, you had Soho Lofts, the Ogden, Jewel. In between, you had Sky Las Vegas. And then over here, you had Queensridge. So that kind of shows you where most of it's at. If you wanted to be in the heart of the city, that would be a lot of your choices. It would be more budget specific. If you wanted to be outside, you have great options at the Four Seasons residences. You have great options at Queensridge. So a lot to take in. And now when you're looking in your price range, you should be able to know more of maybe where you might fit in. So now we'll go back to this. So if you're thinking about moving here, we're not YouTubers over here. So we actually do full-time sell real estate. So if you are looking to buy and you found this helpful, one, please subscribe. It always helps us out. And two, my text number will be below. The text goes to me. So like I said, we're not YouTubers. We do this full-time. So if you have questions, please reach out to me. Let me know how we can help, and we look forward to talking to you soon.